Hello and welcome to my channel, I Want to Lose Gaming. In today's video, I'll be going over the rather convoluted new artifact sets, the Ocean Hued Clam and the Husk of Opulent Dreams. So with every new patch comes longer and longer descriptions. I recall back when the Elegy for the End was released, and we were greeted with this abomination of a description. Now we have this on a freaking artifact set. I'm going to break down all the mechanics for these two new sets that I'm aware of, as well as some advice towards farming and enhancing these artifacts. Let's start with the Ocean Hued Clam. The 2-piece set bonus provides 15% healing bonus, and the 4-piece set bonus provides you with a college thesis. To summarize, when a character equipping 4 pieces of the Ocean Hued Clam heals anyone in your team, the amount they healed is stored in a bubble. Healing benched party members also counts as healing towards the bubble. Overhealing is also included as well, so if your character is at full health and you still heal them, that healing will be counted towards the bubble. This bubble lasts for 3 seconds and has a 3.5 second cooldown, essentially meaning there is a 0.5 second delay between the bubble exploding and a new bubble forming. The damage that the explosion does is considered physical damage, as indicated by this white damage number. So if the healer is off field, they will still activate the bubble. Now let's talk about the damage that it does. The damage that it does is the amount of healing stored in the bubble times 0.9. Let's say you heal 10,000 hit points in 3 seconds, then this bubble will do 10,000 times 0.9, which is 9,000 damage. Since the max healing amount absorbed is 30,000, this means that the max base damage is 30,000 times 0.9 or 27,000 damage. Now you may have many questions such as, is this affected by crit, physical damage bonuses, etc.? The damage from this is calculated like transformative reactions, aka swirl, superconduct, overloaded, and probably something else that I'm forgetting. In other words, it cannot crit. It's not affected by monster level and thus not affected by defense shred, and it's also not affected by elemental or bonus damage. It is only affected by resistances, and since it deals white physical damage numbers, that means it's affected by the enemy's physical resistance. Superconduct actually boosts the damage that the bubble does. Combining superconduct with multiple sources of physical resistance shred, against Masanori I was able to do 37,799 damage. Now a couple more interesting tidbits about this artifact set is that multiple healers healing do not appear to affect the bubble. At least when I tried this with both Barbara and Kokomi healing me, both with the set equipped, the bubble was doing the same amount of damage as if I only had Kokomi. This isn't 100% proven yet, so just take this with a grain of salt. And lastly, it does not shatter frozen enemies. It's a real shame, as that would have shattered all known DPS metrics in this game. But in all seriousness, it's a good thing that this bubble doesn't shatter, so that way Kokomi can provide free support without shattering the enemy with this artifact set. Next, let's talk about the actual star of the patch, the Husk of Opulent Dreams. The 2-piece set bonus provides a simple 30% defense. The 4-piece set bonus takes a little bit more to digest though. Basically, you can get up to 4 stacks on this thing. Each stack provides 6% defense and 6% geo damage. A number appears to indicate how many stacks you have if your character is on field and gains or loses a stack. Looking at this simple chart, at 0 stacks, the set simply provides 30% defense, at 1 stack it provides 36% defense and 6% geo damage, and at 4 stacks it provides a massive 54% defense and 24% geo damage. Now how do you gain stacks? The on-field character must do geo damage in order to gain stacks. There is a 0.3 second cooldown for gaining stacks, and keep in mind that the geo damage must come from the on-field character. So off-field geo damage sources like Zhongli's Pillar's Resonances do not add stacks to the on-field character. The second way to gain stacks, which is also likely going to be the main way you'll gain stacks, is by having the character with the Husk 4-piece set equipped stay off the field. For every 3 seconds that character is off-field, they gain 1 stack. It takes 12 seconds of being off-field to gain all 4 stacks. Now, how do you lose stacks? If your character is on field and does not do any geo damage to maintain or gain a stack for 6 seconds, they will lose a stack. From 4 stacks, it takes 24 seconds to lose all 4 stacks. In other words, it's completely trivial to build stacks by simply leaving the character with a husk equipped, off field. And yes, this works in the Abyss as well. You can simply wait 12 seconds once you load into the chamber, and the off-field Husk character will have 4 stacks the moment they swap in. Now keep in mind that when selecting a card, the timer is actually frozen, so you want to select a card in order to start that 12 seconds. And another interesting tidbit about this artifact set is that swapping back and forth faster than 3 seconds for the non-Husk character does not reset the 6-second countdown for losing a stack, and you'll keep losing stacks as long as you're not gaining any stacks, if that makes any sense. But basically, if you just keep spamming swapping out your character with a Husk equip, you'll still lose your stacks. Alright, so now for my initial impressions of these artifact sets, and let's start with the Ocean Hued Clam. The clam is an interesting way for healers to do a bit of damage. This is particularly useful for Kokomi out of burst in the overworld, as it allows her to toss down her jellyfish and still do enough damage to majorly dent some overworld mobs. This applies to the other healers as well, especially Barbara and Chi-Chi, who aren't typically built for damage. Now as for Jean, if she's correctly built, she should do better with an Anemo damage focused build, or especially the Viridescent Veneer to shred resistances to support your team. Same with Sayu, you just build her with Elemental Mastery and a 4-piece Viridescent Veneer. However, of course you can still use this set on Jean and Sayu to get a bit of extra damage out. Now keep in mind that Bennett does not overheal, and that's where most of the damage from this artifact set comes from, so I don't recommend this for Bennett. Now sadly, this artifact set in my opinion isn't going to make it a lot easier to clear Abyss 12. Frankly, I can't even notice the extra damage my Kokomi is doing with this during her burst. Overall, this is not a great artifact set, but can simply be considered as a tiny bonus for Kokomi, Chi-Chi, and Barbara. And with this set, they do a tiny bit of extra damage when you heal your team. When it comes to what stats to focus on for the Ocean Hued Clam, I recommend having one set focused on HP, one set focused on attack percent, and potentially a set focused on defense because you may as well. Now what's interesting is that for maximizing healing, you actually want an HP or attack percent goblet as well as the timepiece. But for the circlet, you really just want healing percent. Next, let's talk about the Husk. Originally, I was confused by the wording and the mechanics, but in hindsight, reading it much more carefully would have cleared my confusion. This artifact set is essentially always at 4 stacks, as long as you wait 12 seconds at the start of an Abyss chamber. This ends up being an unconditional 54% defense and 24% geo damage, which is an outrageous amount of stats. With this revelation, as well as ease of use, I highly recommend farming this artifact set for Ito, Albedo, and Noelle. However, it's worth pointing out that you'll be getting a lot of Ocean Hued Clam pieces as well, which are very copium in comparison to the set. And let's say you are targeting an artifact set for Noelle. If you already have an amazing 4-piece Retracing Bolide set as an example, then you probably don't need to waste the resin farming for this one. Anyway, that wraps up everything I've learned about these new artifacts. Let me know if you've learned anything from this and if you found it helpful. Let me know what you think about the long and convoluted descriptions of these artifact sets. Also, I regularly make Genshin Impact videos ranging from Caesar showcases, DPS showdowns, guide videos, and more. So be sure to smash the subscribe button as it's the best and easiest way for you to support my work. Also, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Want to Lose, signing out.